Alright, let me just show you another example. To say some of the relatives live in your house, and say one spouse passed away, and the relatives say, well, they happen to lose their job, right? They can't pay the rent. They crash into your house, and then they help your house a little bit. So, for example, especially you got kids, right? You're going to go to work, and for kids, you know what? That relative can help and take care of it, and also pay the rent. Okay, here comes the interesting part. Is what about one of the relatives, right? So, for example, this is a surviving spouse with children, right? One of the spouse, after one of the spouse passed away, one of the relatives come into the house, and they, the relative leave a certain room of the house, and then also pay the rent as well. So what about this scenario? Okay. So for example, this person, so for example M, okay, after M's spouse passed away, M pays all this like mortgage, utilities, food, property tax, house insurance, and all that. Typically, as I said in my previous video, this is about household upkeep. Okay, and then one of the relatives, right? So for example, M's brother, right? So brother B, come here and pay the rent. Okay, so for example, the total household upkeep is say $40,000, okay, including mortgages, utilities, food in the house, and property tax and house insurance and all that. Okay, and then what about the person B pay the rent of I don't know, $800 per month? Okay, so what about this? Do you need to worry about this? Okay, do you need to say, well, I need to subtract this $800 multiplied by $12? Do I need to subtract? Because it seems that this relative live inside the house, take care of the kid, helping out, and also paid my bill. Okay? Here's the tricky part. Does this relative actually pay the bill? Or they pay you, and then you pay the bill? It's the tricky part. So, basically, from RS point of view, this is kind of like rent, okay? Whether it's a relative or whether, say, it's a roommate, or whether just someone find your, for example, you're pretty tight financially, and you want sort of a rental house, but partially rental house, you wanted to get some of the income. All that is considered your income, okay? You're utilize some of the property, you rent it out, and that rent will become your income, okay? And this does not contribute to your household maintenance. And also, you may use that money to pay the bill. But RS is more about who is actually paying the bill directly, okay? You might say, well, he's like helping pay the bill, but as long as they pay you and you pay, say, the utilities, right? You pay the like household tax and insurance and the food to eat in the house, right? All that is paid by you. So who pays the home's cost? That who do matters, okay? It's not like the source of the money matter, but rather who is actually paying the household cost matters. And that means you do not need to do that, okay? I'm going to give you a very big cross here. You do not need to subtract all of them from the total household upkeep. So basically, it's kind of money that's get into your bank account, and you use that bank account to pay this total household upkeep. Okay, you pay those bills from your bank account, but that comes to your bank account, and then you pay that bill. So basically, they have a zero effect on this whole your contribution thing. Why does who contribute matter? Remember, we already talked countless times about 50% rule. You need to pay more than 15% in order to gain all that benefits. And that can give us so much more information. Okay? This is not just a single example, but we can utilize this. Okay? So that means that this is like two different kind of patterns. Okay? So basically, we can get family, and family can help you pay the bill directly. Okay, this is method one. Also, we get another method. It's family pays you, gives you the support, gives you the money support, and then you pay the bill. Okay? You might think this method 2 is too cumbersome, right? For example, we got like a total household cost, right? So I just say total home cost, right? So for writing, okay, I hate writing. I typing all the time, and to be honest, right now I'm like using the like AI, like voice to text. So I like to talk all the time. Let AI to quickly transcribe it for me. So total home cost. So for example, is 40,000 US dollars. Okay, and you, right? Say you pay the bill of 20. Okay, or even better, even like 19,000 US dollars. Okay, you pay less, and then your family come here and say, well, I will going to help you, right? I'm not giving you the money, but I just pay the bill directly. It's much more convenient, right? They just pay this sort of like utility companies, right? Mortgage companies, and grocery stores and all that, right? And they just pay that directly through their bank credit card, right? So for example, they give you 20,000 or even 21,000 US dollars in that sense. Okay, so obviously is you sort of fail. You do not pay more than 50%. So you fail this critical more than 50% test. So basically, you are not the main the household contributor, but rather your family pay the bill directly. Okay. So you fail to get some of the critical status while you are filing. And that status can be very beneficial to you. But you can just using this workaround. This is a very, very good one, because you just add extra step and make it better. Okay? So the pattern goes, your family gives you the cash or the rent, and you pay the bill. Okay? So the same like money, the same cash flow, but only transfer a little bit. Okay? So for example, your family, your parents give you, say, help or rent. Okay? You know what? From the money point of view, they not necessarily need to live inside the house like every day, right? Come on, your roommates, you're like, they're not like inside the house all the time, right? Then maybe there's a few days there, but you know what? They rent specifically a specific room for that. Okay? Then, you know what? Your parents, your family can pay your rent. Have a dedicated room, pay rent. And that rent will be 20,000 US dollars. Okay? And then pay you, remember, so this money goes to you, and then from you, you pay the whole 40,000 US dollars. Okay? So basically, under this scenario, this is less than 50%. This is like nearly 100, right? So for example, the total household, I'm going to use the total household cost will be 40,000 US dollars. You paid from your bank account, from the credit card and all that, paid 40,000 US dollars. That means you paid all. You know what? You passed this more than 50% of the test. So two scenario. This scenario, you just walk around. It's not like a walk around, but rather this is your income rather than some family members' help. So, yeah, if they paid bill directly, that is kind of others paid, okay? This sort of dilute your share of the payment, so you won't pass this test. But if they give you as a rent or any other correct format, they give that to you, and then you pay that. You will pass this test. And then you can enjoy tons of benefits. So, as I said, this can qualify you to go to the QSS, right? So, and after 2 years, if nothing happens, everything's unchanged, perfect scenario, you can get the head of the household, right? And all this will give you a better tax rate, a higher deduction than the single, okay? And the QSS will give you the lowest tax bracket and highest standard deduction. And it will give you the same as married filing jointly. So if you use this method, you will pass the test, and then you can enjoy all these amazing benefits. Okay? So next time, even though the family members want to help you, it's always better to just stop a little bit and think how this money goes, and how does one step that can affect some of the very important status, for example, the filing status.